Hello everybody and welcome to Devotion to Writing, a channel devoted to helping you cultivate a daily writing practice and realize you are creative abundance. You know, what we are creating, what you are carrying with you is invisible, but it is so precious. You have to care for it. Sometimes you have to care for it for many years, for a long time in order for it to appear, to take its final form. And I wanted to talk about that today in this video, really about the time and the care, but really the faith and the belief that we have to have in our own, in what we're creating in order to bring it into the world. So in order to talk about that, I thought of a really a story that is special to me from my own life and from my own childhood. And that is when I was 5 or 6 or 7, every day I would walk home from school by myself. And on that walk home, there were a couple of stops that I usually made on my way. The first was to the pet store, which was just a block away from the school. And there in the back alley, there were some cages with some rabbits. And the owner was so kind and such a generous man. And he would come out. Often I would go in and let him know I was there, but he would come out with some lettuce or carrots and let me feed the rabbits. So that was my first stop. And it was such a, I remember watching the rabbits eat. I remember their whiskers and their noses, petting their noses through the cages. These really wonderful, intimate moments that from my how wondrous it was from my childhood to just have those moments. And then from there, I'd go to the penny candy store, which was at the end of the block where the pet store was. On the corner, there was a candy store that sold penny candy. So for a nickel, I could get a handful of candy to eat on the walk home. And then the next stop, I had to pass a magic shop. And it was on this one particular day that as I was passing the magic shop, a tall, very thin, very pale man came out wearing a top hat, big Adam's apple. He had a big Adam's apple, I remember. And he came out and he sees me and he stops me in the street and he stoops down to my level and he says, "Do you believe in magic?" And I shook my head vigorously. Yes, of course I believed in magic. In fact, I was going to go into that very magic shop where I often stopped on my way home. "So, do you believe in magic?" he says. And with one hand, he takes my wrist. And with another, he reaches into the inside of his jacket and pulls something from his pocket. And he presses that something into my palm, which I'm now holding open. He presses with his fingers into my palm, and then he takes both hands and he folds my fingers over this something that he has put there, and he squeezes it, and he looks at me, and he says, "I have put an invisible silver dollar in your hand. Now, you need to go straight home, and you put this under your pillow, and if you believe, it will appear in the morning. You will have this silver dollar under your pillow. But," he said, "you have to believe so much in it that you cannot look in your hand before you get home. You cannot open your hand. You cannot even peek between your fingers because this magic thing that I have put in there it's so light that it could easily be blown away and be lost. So you have to trust and you have to believe that it is there. Even if you don't think you can feel it, keep your fingers locked around it. Go home and put it under your pillow. And in the morning, there will be a silver dollar." And so, sure enough, I said thank you, and sure enough, I ran straight home. I didn't run, actually. I walked very diligently, holding my hand steady in front of me and kept my fingers locked. I think I even put my other hand on top of my hand just to make sure. And I went straight home. I went straight up to my room, and I slid my hand under the pillow, and I very gently opened my fingers and made sure that the silver dollar stayed there. And sure enough, in the morning, I think under my dreaming about silver dollars, about coins, when I looked, there was a silver coin under my pillow in the morning. Now, I tell you that story because I think this is the same way that we have to carry our writing, that we have to believe in the poems, in the stories, the novels, the essays, the memoirs. We have to believe in those. We have to believe in them until they become visible, because for a long time they're going to remain invisible. Even when you put them on the page, they're not fully realized necessarily. Now, sometimes you do get a fully realized story or poem, but it's very rare. Everything else that you're going to do in writing, you're going to have to carry with you for a very long time, and no one else is going to be able to see it. It won't help you to tell anybody else about it, although you might try. You might say, I have a silver dollar here, I have magic here, I have magic on my page, but it's impossible to describe to anyone. And so you have to carry this with you for a very long time and very far. And you have to be, I think, you have to resist the temptation to show others, to open your hand, to peek, to doubt, to see how it's going, because it's not ready yet. And so I encourage you just to have that belief and that faith. And I know it is hard, but like that magician who put this in my hand, I felt like when he bent down and looked at me, that he was seeing in me someone that he could give magic to, and that who could handle that magic. And if he didn't see it that day, he certainly gave it to me. In addition to the coin, he gave me that belief in myself that I could get that coin home and I could make it appear under my pillow. And I think that has stayed with me in my writing as well. And that is what I hope, that is what I'd like to encourage in each of you as well, that I tell you that I am seeing you, that I know that you can carry this invisible magic, these coins, these treasures in you. I know that you can carry them long enough. I know that you can hold them. I know that you can believe in them long enough that they will become a piece of writing, that they will become a poem or the story or the memoir that you want to tell. I know that that is true. So keep that in mind. Believe wholly. Believe even though you're not sure if you can feel it. Believe even though you certainly can't yet see it. Keep believing, keep holding it, keep carrying it, and eventually the story, the poem, the essay, the memoir, it will appear. Keep carrying it, step after step. It can be a long journey and a very deliberate journey. Writing is like that. When I say, part of the reason for this channel is I tell people I can't teach you how to write, but I hope that I can help you get to the page in order to write, because the magic of writing isn't necessarily the craft. The magic of writing is the practice. It is the showing up day after day, having the courage to come and the belief to come, to overcome doubt and to sit with yourself and to keep holding on to that invisible until you can look under the pillow and see that there is a bright, shining coin there for you. So, as a writing prompt today, I would like maybe to riff on this idea of the invisible, and I would say, what did you believe in as a child that was invisible? Or what magic did you believe in as a child? And write about that. Write about your belief in what you could not see and what you hoped for, though you could not see it. Thank you for watching. A couple of announcements I do want to make. Coming up in the fall of 2025, starting in September of 2025, I'm going to be leading a Zoom workshop for you to help you cultivate your writing practice. It's going to run for 5 weeks from September. Now I need my calendar. It is going to run for 5 weeks from Wednesday, September 17th through October the 15th. If you're interested in that Zoom workshop, it's going to be from 7 to 8:30 at night for 5 weeks. You can go to devotiontowriting.com and you can register there. If you have any questions, there's also a place at devotiontowriting.com to send me an email. And I would love to hear from you, and I would love to see if you could make it. I'd love to work with you. Those of you who are subscribed and those of you who are watching these videos, I'd love to be able to support you in your writing practice. So take a look there. And also, at the end of October, October 25th through November 1st, I am leading a Devotion to Writing Artists Retreat and Writers Retreat in Portugal. Again, at devotiontowriting.com, you can find out about that creative retreat. It's going to be a blast. It's in the beautiful Alentejo countryside. There's going to be great food, hiking, beaches, creativity for sure, photography, music, writing, poetry. It's going to be a wonderful retreat. So maybe I could meet you there. Thank you for watching. I hope that you write deeply today. I know that if you do write, it will be beautiful, because beautiful is what you are. Blessings.